back to my channel. So in today's video, we are going to talk about the murder of the 10-year-old Jessica Ridgeway. But before we start this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't done already and click the bell next to the subscribe button so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. I upload videos every Saturday, and this case was suggested by one of you, and if you want to suggest a case, you can reach out to me through the comments or through my social media. My Instagram and my Twitter will be linked down below in the description box. And having all that said, let's just start this video. Jessica was born on January 23rd of 2002 in Colorado, and she loved dancing. She would even make up her own dances, and she was loved by all of her teachers and classmates. She was described as a joyous little girl, and like any other kid, she was told to be wary of strangers. In her notebook, she had examples of imperative and exclamatory sentences like watch out for strangers and do not play in the park alone. But on the morning of October 5th of 2012, Jessica went missing. Her disappearance was reported on that evening after Jessica failed to return home from school. 2 days later, her school backpack containing her glasses was found on a sidewalk. On October 10, her dismembered remains were found in a park in Nevada. Later in the same month, 17-year-old Austin Sigg confessed having killed 10-year-old Jessica, and he told everything that happened during Jessica's final hours. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about Austin. So when Austin was 12 years old, he was viewing child pornography and he was sent to therapy. But he admitted that the sessions did legal, and his addiction only kept growing over the years until he was viewing images of children getting raped, strangled, and dismembered. Austin was interested in mortuary science, and this was odd for some people but not alarming. In an interview with investigators, Austin's younger brother recalled a slightly creepy comment that his brother had made about one of his classes in which he was learning how to kill people and get away with it. A friend of Mindy Sigg, Austin's mother, recalled a conversation the two had before Jessica was kidnapped. Mindy joked about her son's interest in body decomposition and said that she even helped Austin practice returning someone with zip ties. I don't know if this is because I make true crime videos and have watched a lot of true crime documentaries, but if my son had an interest in body decomposition and asked me to help him restrain someone with zip ties, I'll be worried. Austin's girlfriend told investigators that he stayed at her house one night a week. His mom told investigators that Austin was gone up to 4 nights a week, so no one knows where he was the other 3 nights. In the weeks before Jessica's death, Austin went out hunting, driving his jeep around neighborhoods. 4 months before Austin took Jessica, he tried to kidnap a woman that was jogging at Kittner Lake by shoving a chloroform-soaked rag in her face, but she was able to fight him off and call the police. Austin told investigators that he learned from his first try, so months later he went looking for someone smaller. Now let's go back to October 5th of 2012. So it was snowing on that day and Jessica was walking to school, and Austin was watching her play with the snow by herself. She was scooping handfuls of red snow. His jeep was parked on the block so no one could see him, and Jessica was carrying the snowball toward him. He waited till she reached the end of the sidewalk and had to cross the street. She began walking past him when he got out of the jeep and grabbed her. Jessica screamed, but no one heard her, and according to court testimony and interviews with prosecutors, this happened right after Jessica left her house at 8:30 in the morning to go to school. He pulled her into the backseat and bound her feet and hands with zip ties.
Go on and tell me what happened after you grabbed her.
She screamed and I told her to be quiet, and I used zip ties to zip tie her hands and legs together, and then I hopped in front of my car and I drove her around for probably a good 10-20 minutes. I asked her if she had a cell phone.
Jessica kept asking him questions like who he was, did he know her mom, and he answered those questions by lying to her. He told her that everything was going to be okay. He then brought her to his house. He carried Jessica to his room, and he said that he cut the zip ties off her wrists and played cartoons for her, showing that she would see her mom again. But investigators are not sure if he was telling the truth or not. And of course, Jessica was 10 years old. She was so scared that she peed herself. So Austin told her to change her clothes, and he gave her a white t-shirt and black shorts from his closet.
After that, I asked her to change into a pair of a shirt and shorts that I had and I let her go into the bathroom to do that. And she came back, told her to put all her clothes in her backpack and get her backpack ready and everything to go back.
Then he told her to turn away from him and he strangled her. He then dismembered her body, and initially he hid her remains on a pool shed behind his house. On October 10th, Austin placed Jessica's torso in 2 black garbage bags and left it alongside 82nd Street in Partridge Park open space in Arvada, just 9 miles away from her house. Investigators said that there was a reason that he picked that spot. He wanted her to be found. The torso was so clean that when investigators found it, they had to swab it twice before they were able to collect a partial DNA sample. On October 17th, the investigation grew closer to Austin as neighborhood canvassing expanded. 2 days later, a friend of Mindy called FBI and expressed her concerns about Austin. The woman recognized a photo of a wooden cross that was found with Jessica's body. Austin, who prosecutors say that he was confident he had not left any DNA behind, provided FBI agents with a sample of his DNA, and he said that he was home sleeping when Jessica was kidnapped. They noticed a cross Austin was wearing, and they asked him about it. He calmly answered all of their questions, and investigators left his home without suspicion, and his DNA samples was sent out with a batch of others. On October 22nd, media reports said that a DNA link had been made between Jessica's death and the attack on the jogger. Austin told his classmates that he was feeling sick and he slept in his mother's bed that night. The next day, Austin told his mother that he had something horrible to tell her. She asked him if it was about Jessica, and then she called police and told them about her son and asked them to send some officers. She cried and hugged him while they waited. At first, investigators didn't believe him. They were looking for an adult. They didn't expect to be a teenager. The thought that it might have been a false confession crossed their minds, but it was true. Austin killed Jessica. The way that he described the details were too precise to be made up. He described himself as a monster. He admitted that he was consumed by some sort of a sexual drive when he grabbed Jessica, but he said that he didn't sexually assault her. Later, he admitted that that was a lie. But still, the investigators were missing a link. An early result showed that Austin's DNA didn't match with the samples taken from Jessica and the jogger. During his interview with police, Austin repeatedly asked about his DNA, and detectives asked whether he had someone help him or not. Hours later, investigators found out that Austin's DNA sample had been lost in a batch and hadn't been tested yet. They ordered an immediate test and received confirmation. Austin's DNA matched the DNA found on the jogger and on Jessica's body. And because Austin was 3 months short of his 18th birthday when he killed Jessica, he was not eligible for the death penalty. But District Attorney Pete Weir and his team worked to ensure that Austin, who turned 18 in jail, would never leave prison. However, he was not 18 at the time he committed the crime. He was still tried as an adult. Austin Sigg was sentenced to life imprisonment in November 19th of 2013. And in June of 2014, he was moved to an undisclosed out-of-state prison to preserve both of his and Ridgeway family privacy and safety. That was it for this case. It's sad to think that 2 lives here were ruined. First of all, Jessica's. She was 10 years old. She was so young. She literally had all of her life ahead of her. She barely lived. And Austin ruined his own life. He also had his whole life ahead of him, and now he's going to spend the rest of it in prison. And I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve it, because he does. He killed a 10-year-old. I just hope that he at least regrets what he did. But that's it for this video. Tell me in the comments your thoughts about this case. I really want to know. And if you haven't done already, please subscribe to my channel and turn the post notifications on so you get notified every time I upload a new video. And if you want to suggest a case, you can reach out to me through the comments or through my social media. My Instagram, my Twitter will be linked down below in the description box. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye bye!